Hi and good evening, everyone. My name is Albert, and this is Vlogs About Nothing. I really appreciate you taking the time out of your very busy day to join me. I really appreciate it. And just for a second, let's take a look at the artwork behind me. You feel me? That thing right there is straight up for my ex girlfriend's best friend. Honestly, I'm a pretty shameless guy, and I understand that when we break up with the exes, some things gotta go. For example, I don't have anything from the relationship except for this picture, which I bring up because it's ironic. It's the only thing. I really like this picture and I'm about it. It was given to me and I'm keeping it forever. So just throwing that out there. All right, so let's talk about SPM. And for those of you who don't know who SPM is, SPM is an acronym for South Park Mexican, arguably the greatest Latin American or the greatest Mexican rapper, Spanish rapper ever. Like, this guy was very, very popular in the mid 90s all the way on up through when he got arrested. And so, you know, if you've ever smoked or had a chill sesh, you feel me, and you're like in your 30s and you live especially in the southwestern part of this country, you have heard SPM. Even if you don't think that you have, when you hear his song or one of his hits, they're bangers. Like, seriously, SPM drops, like, his albums are incredible. Just real good flow, real good bilingual, real good Spanish articulation. I mean, the guy writes his own songs. He's about it. You feel me? Now, let's talk about the controversy surrounding SPM and obviously why he went to jail in the first place. So, to be clear, we're talking about SPM tonight because he's eligible for parole on October 7th of this year. And it's a big deal to the Mexican American community in the hip hop genre because, again, this guy is a hit maker. You feel me? Like, and he's going to be eligible for parole and will most likely be granted parole. And so, we'll mark this video or whatever, but I'm pretty sure there'll be an SPM banger by Thanksgiving. You know what I mean? Like, again, like, this is the power of this artist, you know? But why did he go to jail? So, SPM was in a highly controversial legal battle in Mexico when he attended a strip club and ended up taking home a woman under the age, or a young lady under the age of 18. Now, it's not clear cut and dry. Two things to understand here. Even in Mexico, there are rules. And I love Mexico, for the record. Great, great country, awesome people, great culture, all of these things, right? But you have to be a certain age to work in a strip club in Mexico, and that age was 18 in the area that he was in. And so you can safely assume, as a consenting adult of either sex, of any sex rather, that when you go into a strip club, the workers there, the women who are stripping, are of legal age to work there. So that was the first legal argument, was that, not only did she work in the establishment that ultimately probably maybe should have been held responsible for vetting this young lady's background in the first place, she also presented identification to the entourage and SPM that showed she was over adult age. So there was some conflict of truth in how the scenario prevailed, because ultimately SPM did get charged with a crime, and I specifically don't know off the top of my head the indictment, but he has been in jail for the better part of 2 decades. Now, there's always been controversy around how this went down. This is irrefutable, obviously. There are many different iterations of the story, many different perspectives of what should have went down, or if it did go down the way it was supposed to. But I encourage everyone to do their own research on the guy, because again, he is truly that influential in the music genre, and so much so that young people discuss him. They've been influenced by him. His rap, the way that he delivered that rap, again, it was all very unique and very influential at the time. And so it'll be very curious, very interesting to see what happens with SPM, if anything at all, by the end of this year. But for those of us who grew up, listening to this guy, there's pretty strong following that he's going to come back to when he gets released on parole. And so SPM, not sure how you guys feel about him, or even if you've ever heard of him, in terms of like the age demographic that's watching this particular video right now at this time. But we all have our own opinions. I'm not quite sure where I sit on the situation in terms of the actual truth. I do know a few things. I do know that as a consenting adult male, I'd also expect for the women working in that establishment to have been vetted properly, to even work there to begin with, in compliance and in accordance with applicable laws, right, that govern the institution or establishment itself that's employing these women. So, again, it's tough. It's really tough to say, I think, where exactly we land on this situation in terms of how to process that, maybe either morally or just kind of in a way that makes sense, because this man did end up spending a long time in jail. Nonetheless, he'll be eligible for parole in October, and I think I'm calling it now. There'll be an SPM banger, you know what I mean? But other than that, the guy makes good music. He's made good music for a really long time. He has a really dedicated and loyal fan base, and he means a lot to the culture, And again, this isn't like an R. Kelly type of thing, This is a real topic for discussion. It's quite intriguing. At the very least, I think it is intriguing. So thanks for watching the videos, and I hope that y'all have a great night. Bye.